Number 31, factor the expression completely. Anytime you see the phrase factor completely, you should probably factor it more than once. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to think of it as x squared plus 6x minus 7. Now notice how this exponent is 1. Notice how, well, this one is just double that. Well, this one is double this one. So it kind of works the same way. So if you had to factor this, you would probably say x plus 7 and then x minus 1. So with that being said, with this one, what you're going to do is say x squared plus 7 and x squared minus 1. Now, because it says factor completely, if you notice, this is the difference of two perfect squares. I factor it as x squared plus 7 and x plus 1 and x minus 1. This complete line would give you full credit. Write an equation that defines m of x as a trinomial where m of x is this long expression. What I have to do is simplify these parentheses. So I need to multiply 3x times 3, I get 9x. 3x times x, I get minus 3x squared. Okay, I get minus 3 here, and then I get plus x here. Plus 4x squared plus 19. And because they want an equation, I can't forget to write m of x equals. Remember, all equations have an equal sign. Now, as far as simplifying, I kind of underlined like terms. So the x squared, I have, basically this is saying negative 3x squared plus 4x squared. You get basically a positive 1x squared. 9x plus x is 10x, and then this minus 3 acts like a negative 3, so negative 3 plus 19, you get plus 16. X squared plus 10x plus 16. You need the equal sign because it's telling you to write an equation. In this case, it's saying solve for x when m of x equals 0. So if you have m of x equals x squared plus 10x plus 16, if m of x equals 0, so I'm going to replace this with 0. Now, if you notice, what you have here is a quadratic equation. You can solve it by completing the square, quadratic formula. I am going to solve it simply by factoring. X plus 8, x plus 2, set both factors equal to 0. Setting both equal to 0, solving for x, you get x equals negative 8 and x equals negative 2. An animal shelter spends $2.35 per day to care for each cat and $5.50 per day to care for each dog. Pat noticed that the shelter spent $89.50 total caring for the cats and the dogs. Again, all they're asking you to do is write an equation. So what I simply do is say $2.35 per cat plus $5.50 per dog equals $89.50. That would be your answer for that section. Pat said that there might have been 8 cats and 14 dogs. Are they possible? All I would do here is just substitute 8 for the C and 14 for the D and see if it equals 89.50. Here I get 1880. This is 77. I need to see, does that equal 89.50? 1880 plus 77 gives you 95.80. This does not equal 89.50. Are Pat's numbers possible? Use your equation to justify your answer. They are not equal. You must show your substitutions. For the last question, it says, Pat found a record showing that there were 22 cats and dogs at the shelter. Now, the answer was 10 cats and 12 dogs. How did we get that? Well, it's saying that there was a total of 22 cats and dogs. So I say that there was number of cats plus number of dogs was 22. This is a system of equations problem. System of equations. So what I'm going to do is take this, put it together with my original equation. Putting those two equations, I have a system of equations, and what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply the top equation by negative 2.35. Check Chapter 6 for review on this topic. So when I add these from top to bottom, these cancel. I get 3.15D. I get 37.8 over here. Divide both sides by 3.15. I get Put in my calculator, I get 12. Well, D represents the number of dogs. I want to find how many cats. Well, if there are 22 total and I have 12 dogs, that means that I must have had 10 cats.